After our visit to Texas this year, we decided that our next holiday would be to travel up to Scotland and visit the Isles of Orkney. We had decided that we'd take the whole of September for our holiday. So come the end of August, we packed up the caravan and off we set. We usually break our journey into 2 or 3 sections of not more than 200 miles. We had decided to make our first stop at Peterborough so we could call in and see Betty's sister Joyce. There's a nice certificated location just outside Peterborough and not far off the A1. This is a working farm where you can pick your own fruit. We had a nice evening meal in a nearby pub. We then travelled on to Appleby and Westmoreland. Crofts End Farm is the name of the CL there. This again is a working dairy farm this time, and it has beautiful views across the valley onto the Pennines. We booked in for 3 nights at Crofts End Farm and decided to go into Penrith to do some shopping and stock up on food. On the way to Penrith along the A66, there's a lovely cafe called the Llama Cafe. This has a shop that sells llama-themed gifts. After we'd finished doing our shopping in Penrith, we went for a drive across the moors to the north of the A66. On this drive we passed the Kilhope lead mine and museum. The museum part has a nice cafe where we had coffee and of course a scone. The next stage of our journey took us to Kinross in Perthshire, where we had hoped to meet up with friends, but a hospital appointment meant that this was cancelled. The CL here is on a larger commercial site, but the CL portion was flooded after all the heavy rain, so we had to go on the commercial part. We only stopped here for 1 night before continuing on up to the north coast of Scotland. This is a very popular certified location with views right across the Pentland Firth to the Isle of Hoy. All the pitches have hard standings and individual taps. Facing north as it does, there are beautiful sunsets when the weather is correct. There's always something of interest to see. There's even a site of the Old Man of Hoy jutting up over the south-facing cliffs. And the Pentland Firth is quite a busy seaway with many ships passing by. Just a short walk down the road from the CL is a beach from which you can see the Castle of May and a lot of wildlife. The castle has a very nice cafe and a shop selling all things to do with the Queen Mother. Seals bask on the exposed rocks at low tide, and seabirds wander the shore looking for morsels. Further west towards Thurso is Dunnet Head, with its lighthouse. It's a very spectacular head, with steep cliffs and good bird nesting sites. And then further beyond Thurso is Scrabster Harbour, where the ferries run from. Heading eastward, there are a number of small harbours before getting to John O'Groats. There's not much at John O'Groats for us, just a few touristy shops, cafe, and of course a hotel. But a bit further eastward is Dunkelsby Head with the lighthouse. And then a bit further round the headland are Dunkelsby Stacks, much loved by artists and photographers. It's a very attractive coastline with many bays and quite a few historic buildings. Further south towards Wick, there's the old Keith Castle and the new Keith Castle. And then eventually there's Wick Harbour. We went to see the harbour, but I was particularly interested in visiting the castle on the headland. This castle must have been very near impregnable in its day. The ruins are so impressive. And then it was time to catch the ferry to Orkney. I had chosen to go from Gills Bay, which wasn't very far from where we were camped. The last time for booking in was 9 o'clock, so we had to get up fairly early that morning. I had to back the caravan up quite a narrow gangway onto the ferry, which meant we were last on, but the first off. The ferry sailed across the Pentland Firth to St Margaret's Hope, which is at the south end of the Orkney Isles. And then we had about an hour's drive up to our final place at Evie. It's an interesting drive because we had to cross the Churchill barriers. These were built at the beginning of the Second World War on the orders of Sir Winston Churchill because an enemy submarine had successfully entered Scapa Flow and sunk a battleship. And then at the end of the drive we found our CL at Evie.